Their cruelty will haunt them forever. You must understand this deeply and thoroughly because it is a fundamental truth of the human condition. When people act with malice, when they choose to inflict suffering upon others, whether out of resentment, jealousy, or sheer malevolence, they leave wounds not only on their victims, but upon themselves. The weight of that cruelty festers, and it does not simply dissipate. It lingers, it poisons, it accumulates like a shadow in the depths of the soul, twisting and constricting until it suffocates the very person who wielded it. And so the question arises, what kind of person do you wish to be? Because the world is filled with cruelty. Life is suffering. Yes, that much is self-evident. We are all burdened by tragedy, by betrayal, by loss. But there is a choice in how we respond to this reality. One path is to become embittered, to lash out, to turn our own suffering into a weapon and use it against others. This is the road to hell. Make no mistake about that. It is not metaphorical, it is not poetic exaggeration, it is literal. A person who indulges in cruelty, who nurtures resentment and justifies their vengeful actions, slowly descends into a place of unbearable torment. Why? Because the mind records everything. Because you cannot deceive yourself forever, because the weight of your own sins will break you. The tyrant is tormented by his own tyranny. The manipulator is ensnared by his own deceptions. The cruel are haunted by their own cruelty. It seeps into their dreams. It corrupts their relationships. It hollows them out until they are left empty, desolate, alone. You might say, well, what about the truly powerful? What about those who seem to revel in their malice? What about those who never seem to suffer for what they've done? And to that I would say, look closer, watch them carefully. There is no peace in them. There is no joy. There is only an endless hunger, an insatiable void, a restless torment that drives them further into destruction. But the few that are ready of faith in God exist lost, absolutely embarrassed, cast out and separated from the people in the community. The alternative, the only alternative, is to take responsibility, to understand that yes, suffering is real and yes, people can be cruel, but the answer to that is not to multiply suffering, it is to transform it, to take whatever resentment and rage you feel and turn it into something meaningful. That is your moral obligation. That is the heroic path. That is the only way forward that does not lead to damnation. And so if you have been the recipient of cruelty, if you have been betrayed, humiliated, wounded, do not let it corrupt you. That is what the world will try to do. It will whisper to you that vengeance is justified, that bitterness is your right, that hatred will protect you. It will not. It will destroy you. And if you have been the perpetrator of cruelty, if you have inflicted suffering on others, if you have acted out of resentment or malice, then know this: there is a way out, but it requires truth. It requires repentance. It requires you to face the weight of what you've done and to rectify it, to make amends, to strive towards something better. You must first acknowledge the harm you have caused, not just superficially, not just in a way that absolves you of guilt, but in a deep and honest manner. You must confront the wreckage left in your wake and take responsibility for it. This is not an easy process. It will demand that you lay bare your soul, that you endure the pain of your own misdeeds without flinching, that you let go of the lies you have told yourself. You must be willing to suffer the consequences of your actions, because only then can you truly change. And let's not make any mistake here. Redemption is not instant. It is not a simple apology or a fleeting moment of regret. It is a path, a journey, one that must be walked with sincerity and perseverance. It will demand effort, discipline, sacrifice. It will require you to align yourself with truth, to commit yourself to the highest ideals of integrity and virtue. And you will fail. You will falter. You will be tempted by the old ways, by the allure of resentment and bitterness. But if you persist, if you endure, then you can become something better. You can become the person you were meant to be. Because that is the true path of strength. That is what it means to overcome suffering, to rise above cruelty, to forge meaning from adversity. The alternative is despair, self-destruction, an existence consumed by regret and anguish. And that is no existence at all. You must build something of value. You must construct a life that is worth living, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It is not enough to merely stop being cruel. You must actively create goodness, pursue virtue, contribute to the world in a meaningful way. You must dedicate yourself to the lifelong process of growth, to learning from your past without being shackled by it. And that is no trivial task. It means standing up straight, facing the chaos of existence with courage, and taking responsibility for your future. So make the choice now. Take responsibility, seek the truth, rectify your past, stand against cruelty in all its forms, not just in the actions of others, but within yourself, and walk the road toward redemption, no matter how difficult, no matter how long. Because in the end, that is the only road that leads to something worthwhile. And it is the only road that will set you free.